ball machine can be an incredible tool for players of all levels. And of course, you can work on technique, you can work on footwork, you can actually also work on tactical decision making. However, I see a lot of people using the ball machine wrong, and then it can really, really hurt your game. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 most common mistakes I see people make with the ball machine and what to do instead. So let's get going. The first biggest mistake I see players make is to use inappropriate settings. Either the ball comes in way too hard, the frequency is way too high. There's all kinds of things that you can do wrong. Especially in clubs, I noticed that players come on the court and they use the previous setting. And that could be totally wrong for them. The ball machine honestly will never replace a live ball rally. So I'd rather err on the side of getting really good, technically correct repetitions in. So you want to do it slower and give yourself more time. Unless you're working on hustle drills, but that's something entirely different. Second biggest mistake I see is that people set the ball machine so that it's right in the middle of the court, and they're only sending balls right down the middle of the court. In fact, in live points, through the middle almost never happens. That's the whole point of tennis. You're trying to make somebody move. So just working on balls through the middle does not make too much sense. So what I really like to do is position the ball machine in corners. So you're not just getting the ball out of the middle, but you're getting the balls from where you usually get them a little bit more. Yes, there are some balls through the middle, but way more balls you're getting from an angle. Is it a little bit more work to set up the ball machine differently on each drill from maybe corner to corner? Yes, absolutely. But it's one more thing that can help us make this a little bit more realistic. So I would totally do it. Kind of piggybacking on the last mistake is when you're setting the ball machine in the middle, what I also see is that people just hit the ever-loving baloney out of the ball without any purpose, without any clear to see targets. And then of course, you're not making any tactical decisions. So in addition to setting up the machine up at an angle, also work on balls that are not just coming through the middle. Yes, of course, there are instances where you want the ball in the middle, but when you're receiving a ball, for instance now cross court, you now have to think about where would I send my ball to not be totally out of position. And that is the tactical decision making that you can work on with the ball machine. So let me show you. So in this drill, the ball is fed to the same spot all the time. Yet I used 3 different shots. A regular backhand cross court when I had time and I just wanted to go cross court. I had to recover just a couple of steps. Now when I was aggressive and I used my forehand and I'm now going inside in, I have to recover. And I chose to do that when I had plenty of time to move around the ball. If I felt like I really had to hustle to set up my forehand, I'm going inside out because I only have 1 or 2 steps to my perfect point of recovery. So even though you have the exact same feet, you can work on decision making, you can work on footwork. So that is how you want to use your ball machine. A lot of people use the ball machine to grind, to be consistent. And what I'm seeing is they're consistently not moving. Tennis is a movement sport. And yes, you want to get repetitions, but how many times are you really hitting a ball not moving at least 2-3 steps to the ball? So when you're using the ball machine, make sure that you set it so that you have to move to the ball and then you're still not done. You also have to think to recover properly. And that is really what I never see a whole lot. So I can work on my tactical decision making and my footwork recovery. So for instance, if I'm receiving a cross-court ball that would make sense to change direction on, I have 2 things that I can work on. So for instance, if I'm hitting the ball from here cross-court, I just want to make sure that I recover to about here because that's my bisector of an angle. However, if I'm now going down the line on that ball, well, if I'm just going to here, that's not where I would be in a match. I have to recover all the way over here. And that is how you should work with the ball machine. because those are the patterns that if you have them ingrained, they're not breaking down in matches. Last thing that you want to challenge yourself a little bit more when you're using the ball machine. Don't just practice what you already feel you can do and you're feeling good with. Again, many people just blast the ever-loving bejesus out of the middle here and it feels great. Yeah, but then they come back either just rallying with friends or playing a match and nothing worked. Work on the things that you're not as good as. So for instance, I'm rarely ever seeing anybody working on wide defensive slices or moonballs. We all hate those, but that's the one time that somebody can consistently do that. Most ball machines these days have such a variety of settings, different pace, different spins, different oscillation. Sometimes it takes a PhD to figure out how to work them, but it's so worth it to actually make use of all the settings. Is it a little bit more work? Yes, but it'll pay off big time. Bonus tips: can't move the machine, don't want to, only has one setting. You move to introduce movement. If you like this video and you want more content that I'm not publishing anywhere else, consider joining my Patreon. For as little as $5, you're getting early access, you're getting extra videos, and if you're joining the Grand Slam level, you're actually getting access to a monthly live video call and even more perks. So consider joining my Patreon.